this computer. Welcome to the show, where we explore the intersections of education, technology, and cultural diversity. Today, we have an exceptional guest, Mustafa Abdulatif, an Egyptian entrepreneur and a Forbes Middle East 30 under 30 lister in 2023. As co-founder and CEO of EUYouth, Mustafa has impacted over 2 million students across the MENA region, equipping them with essential skills for today's labor market. He also serves as vice chairman of the Youth Entrepreneurs Network YEN, a USAID-funded initiative supporting young entrepreneurs. Mustafa's diverse academic background includes an MBA from the Arab Academy for Science and Technology, a bachelor's in business entrepreneurship from the United States, and a bachelor's in engineering from Egypt. He's currently pursuing a PhD in business management at the Swiss Business School. Let's into Mustafa's journey and his commitment to empowering the next generation. Good morning, Mustafa. Good doing? Well, I hope I actually wrote this introduction in your profile on LinkedIn, and I find it to be very interesting. But I would like actually to hear your personal introduction of yourself. Who are you? If you could give us a brief introduction about who are you and where you come from to the audience, that would be great.
Sure. My name is Mustafa Abdulatif. I'm from Egypt, from Asyut. Asyut in Upper Egypt. Like I had to go to the engineering university in Asyut because I don't like it, but I had to go there. I was studying electrical engineering and especially in communication and technology in electrical engineering. And I got a scholarship from the US Embassy in Cairo to travel to US in 2016 to study entrepreneurship and business as a scholarship from the US Department of State in UConn University. And I moved there in 2016 to study. And I got like a certificate from the university there, and then come back to finish my engineering study because I was already did 4 years and only I have 1 year left. So I was okay to get it. So I have 2 certificates in the university, one engineering and one business and entrepreneurship. And then I did my master's degree, my first one as MBA in Arab Academy for Technology. And I did another one in research in business topics in Switzerland. And now I do my PhD in Switzerland as well. Hope I will be finished, inshallah, in next 2 years, inshallah.
That's really impressive, and it's something that we don't see often in this part of the world and in Europe. How do you have the time to do all these things, and why? What is your big why? Every person has a why. Well, not everyone, but people, successful people like yourself usually have a why. What's your why?
Okay, my why, I always wanted to be a successful person. I have this motive to be a successful person. That's why I usually search for an extra mile I can do. I'm very committed. I'm very to work. I work 14, 16 hours per day, and my I don't do that with the pressure or anything. I love to work, and if I didn't work any day, I nervous. I not comfortable with the day. So it's my motive to work every day, long time per day. So when I have sometimes, okay, how I can put something in that time. So then I search for some academic programs and I apply, I got and a reasonable money for me. Then I start. That's why I do every time I have some work, some time, I have 10 hours per week, it's free, I can do masters. So then applying and do that. And also, honestly, I don't study because I love the business one. So for me, it's enjoyable thing. So I can some videos on YouTube, listen some podcasts and have some knowledge. And then in the exam, I do it because I love it. I don't have to study and have some things to write and this stuff.
That's a great advice right there. I think in order for us to be successful, and I think a lot of young people who might be watching would learn that from you, is that we need to be passionate. We need to like what we are doing. We need to have a growth mindset as yourself. Like you wake up in the morning, you just said, and I remember off camera, you also told me that you wake up at 6 a.m. and you're excited about your day. most of people, most of human beings, many of them are doing things that they don't like and they don't really want to get out of bed. But you get out of bed like my actually, because kids are still pure, they haven't been impacted by life.
Yes,
Get out of bed, and the first thing they want to do before even eating breakfast is play. And they have a little project, a little drawing, and they want to work on it. So you up in the morning, you're excited, and you want to start your day, and you want as well to learn, constantly learn. I think that's the mindset that we should install in young people. This is great, actually, because this will lead us to our first topic, the first topic I would like to discuss with you, which is the future of education. As I mentioned in the introduction, you run a couple of organizations. Or the main organization you're running right now is EUYouth, right?
yeah,
And or introduce it to us, and then we'll talk about the challenges and opportunities that are facing the education sector in MENA region right now. I think you're in mute and you froze, Mustafa. Yes, you're back.
yes, yeah.
So what is EUYouth, and is it addressing any challenges that the MENA is facing right now?
Yes, EUYouth, it's an edtech startup. We work in the field of education for youth in order to addressing the challenge of the high unemployment rate between youth in the Middle East, North Africa, and some African countries as well. As you know, there is a number one all over the world in terms of the high unemployment rate between youth, where around 40% of youth are not working. There's more than 100 million youth not working in the Middle East, North Africa. This is a very huge number. And on the other side, in Europe, they have a problem to have a youth workers or a youth like in general. So we have opposite side. We have a lot of youth, but they are not like working in the labor market. So our work in EU is to help with educational programs. These programs are accredited from international accreditation partners. And also this program is designed to convert people from unemployed to be employed. So it's a 3 months program in different topics and different careers that like moving people from unemployed to be employed. This program is designed on the needed skills of the labor market with the highest technology needed in the day with international accreditation in terms of the academic accreditation. And our target like youth from 18 to 35 years old in Middle East, North Africa, and in Africa as well. Like till now we have 3.1 million learners.
Wow.
And we help it like more than 500,000 people to find their jobs throughout our programs within 6 months of the graduation. They was not before joining, and the million people employed totally within 6 months of the graduation. This is like how we work. We have now 3 offices: Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and United Arab Emirates. And we work in 21 countries with 700 people working in EU's till now. This is like the main figures of EU's.
Yeah, thank you so much. How did you come up with this idea? How was it born, the idea of building a platform, and why online as well?
Okay. Like, you remember I was in Asyut and then go to USA to study as a scholarship. But the business model of EU's and the idea of EU's as a company started in my university in Yukon. And it was my graduation project. And by the way, I get the first place of the class. And I get like a scholarship to build the company coming back to Egypt. But the idea, because like I was in Asyut and to study outside Asyut to have a good study, I need to travel at least to Cairo with 8 hours train, and I need to pay a lot of money. And I don't have that money, and the luxury of traveling is not that like easy for me. That's why I was thinking how we can make a good quality educational programs. Anyone can study whenever they staying, whenever the place, and with affordable fees. There's like the main value we need to address. Till now, our programs is very affordable. Till now, our programs, like we aiming for a good quality and high quality programs with a very affordable fees. That's why when the idea come from my personal and what we need to have like to help millions of people, the same like me, to grow and get the stuff of the learning, working in the labor market, and etc.
That's amazing. So we could say that EUYouth is helps youth overcome any hurdles that are related to geography. Also, it prepares you to have the level to work for international companies. Can we say that?
Exactly, yeah. Yeah.
Constantly like
Especially for countries with like have issues in the economic situations like Egypt, people are they don't want to pay a lot of money to study outside. So and the education system is not that good to facilitate a good person coming out from the university. That's why there's a gap we are filling.
yes. Well, it's great that you mentioned the education system. This was my next question. What is the current state of the education system in Egypt and in the Middle East in general, like MENA, Middle East and North Africa? And how do you see the future? Is the future totally online? Do we need to have a university degree? Because that's in Europe, but I also know in the Middle East, people are talking about whether we need a university degree or not. I'd like to listen to yours.
Okay. Like for the Middle East, and there is like two types. General, like the public universities, and most of 70% of the public universities are not that good. And the private one, also around 80% of the private universities in the Middle East is not that good because it's a business, not an educational institute. Only 20% of the public of the private universities are good. They are caring about the quality, caring about the educational part, but the 80% is caring about the money people pay. If you pay the money in your time, you will succeed, you will get yours, and that's it. If you don't pay, you'll have some problems. There's like the majority of the private sector universities. But in the public sector universities, they're willing, they have the motive, but they don't have the facility, they don't have the capacity. So they good to help people to learn, but they don't have the capacity, they don't have a good salary, they don't have a good facilities. That's why they can't afford this motive. They have a motive, but they can't afford. That's why most of people, like 75% of people, the Middle East, they don't relate to their university educational anymore in their work with their certification, or they don't use any kind of learning getting in the university in their like the actual work. Most of people, they only do that in terms of like, I have a certification, but I don't have the learning.
The knowledge.
Yes, the knowledge, exactly. But moving to your second one, my like personal perspective on that, I think the university degree, it's important not for knowledge, but for the system. If you have a good system, educational, university educational one, you will the people how to think, how to decide, how to do your work, how to do work under pressure. It's a good preparation phase for the work. But also my personal like thinking, people should work inside a parallel way of university. But I totally refuse people have a university, no work, and then start work. I think the struggling we live in the region, they don't allow us with a luxury timing, like to have, okay, I will stay 4 years getting my money from my father until I will be graduated, and then I do the military services 1 year or 3 years in like a mandatory one. 7 years of your life
Wasted.
totally out of service. And then you are thinking you will come back to the service with a good standard. You are competing with people already in the market with 5, 7 years ago. And then you are blaming the situation. Why I'm not working? There's a high unemployment. And also there's one of the perspective we're facing. People are stay in the university without any kind of work. They didn't do anything. And after that, why we not working? We are not in a fair condition. We are having problems and stuff. And on the other side, you are wasting the 4 years without any effort from your side.
Yeah.
You are going to the school and they can come back and then going with your friends outside, hanging out or matches or whatever, and then sleep, come again, and this, etc. And you need to work. So university is important for a good system university,
Mhm.
but it's important to work without like parallel with your university study.
Exactly. So the university gives you the structure you need to you need to learn to meet deadlines and to be structured in your mind,
Yes,
maybe write papers and all these things. But at the same time, you need the real life experience, right, to match and also to know what's going on in the market. Because right now, technology things are moving fast. But
yes,
also, actually, what you just said made me think about the potential that the country itself misses out on.
exactly.
Since
Yeah,
that, imagine 7 years of your life, the country, whether it's Egypt or any other country in the region or around the world, is not benefiting from that person. At his
yes,
prime, he's young, he's strong, he has the energy, but you're not benefiting from that.
exactly, exactly. People are still in the university without like having, we don't have a law making students to work, have to work to get the certification. Can you ask? I was study, I was work. I should work. I don't have options. I showed work. I showed like the university bringing opportunities to me. It was very low payment, but I work. I was working in organizations. I was working with children, prisons, like people in there. We helping them. We working with organizations. I did my some time in Google, in Facebook, in Udemy, a lot of levels
Yeah.
during my study. That's make me like have a good experience. When I go out, I know how people work. I know how structure of the work, how I should commit to the work. I know the environment. I know everything. I don't need to be like, okay, wow, it's a new era, a new world, how I can fit in that, and facing the challenge, and also facing the challenge of I need to have money to build my life, to marry, to have my career. Because if you start early, you will have a lot of time to do that. Like if you start when you're 20, like years old, or 19, you will have like 10 years if you wanted to marry at 30s. You have 10 years. But if you are get out of university 24 and you have 1 to 3 years of military service, like we have 25, 26. So only you have 4 years. So you are a pressure on the other side from your family, from the society, from your mental. I need to marry, I need to build a family. So I have only 4 years. And you can easily take a 10 years a chance. So we lose the 10 years a chance. And instead of like we stay in 4 years. So we need to do everything in the 4 years. Marry, get money, work, learn how to work, have work environment. And if you didn't work, I need to travel outside to work in Khaliji countries to get some money. So I'm trying to collect money from my family to facilitate my travel outside. And then I go outside working, I get a low payment because I'm not from the country. They
Yeah.
pay better for the people, the national people. There's like a loop, but the opportunity is missed because you are decided to stay in the student version of you until 25 years. But you can easily, after high school, you can move from the student version to a student worker version. It's a very, very better way. That's why I was working when I was 17. So I'm learning everything. I do everything. That's when I become 30 now. I'm like today my birthday, I'm like 31.
Oh yeah, I saw it. Yeah, happy birthday. I saw it on LinkedIn. Yeah.
Yeah. So I did a lot of stuff. I do 2 masters, 2 universities, my PhD. I have a company, 21 countries, all of that stuff because I started in 17.
Yeah. And
But
now
if I
you're
started,
30, right? You
what?
said, and now you're 30 years old.
Yes.
Very young. You see, so you're totally right. Start early, you'll have enough to do everything you want.
Yes, and also it was very enjoyable. It was hard, but it's enjoyable. Why you are live without any challenges? I don't understand people like I need no pressure. I need no. Why you live? You live
Yeah.
to face these challenges, to learn, to be a better person. That's a life. You need to
Yeah.
learn from each other and this stuff. But you are saying do nothing. I think it's very boring. It's at least for me. When I go to sleep, the sleep for me is boring. Like only 5 hours. Why I sleep all of that? I need to move. So I go.
Super interesting. And you're totally right. Diamonds are shaped on pressure. And nobody actually, we didn't sign a contract when we were born that we were going to be happy forever. Like people sometimes you think, as you just mentioned, that we need, like, life should be walk in the park, everything should be fine, and whenever you see a hurdle or a problem, you're like, oh, I'm not supposed to be unhappy. But who told you you're not supposed to be unhappy? You're totally right. But so, and this system, I like it because you see in other countries, here, for example, they have the stage. Stage is like internship. So the idea of you cannot get your diploma unless you've done some time at the company is perfect. It prepares you mentally as well to what real life is about. So it's not only academia, but also real practice on ground experience. Now, our
Yes.
employers, how do employers look? Do they still need CV and a motivation letter in the Middle East, or do you look at degrees, or do you just need somebody who knows how to get the job done? And then I have my opinion on this as well.
Yes, if you have like talking about the Middle East,
Yeah.
yes, we still in that phase.
Yeah.
People looking for CVs, people looking for like the experience, people looking for certificate you have it from where, and this stuff. But change it. But people are this type of getting these kind of check marks before you get. So there's like here in the East, yes, people are still looking for these data or checkpoints to allow you to get you to the interview.
What's your opinion on this? If you were when you were youth, is that something?
No
Honestly,
anymore. No anymore. I looking for I interviews like last 2 weeks I did 40 interviews because we select some leadership positions because we do some projects. So I do 40 interviews. I didn't ask any question in the interviews. My interviews without any question. Yes, no questions. I myself and I tell the person you have 30 minutes to speak as you want, as you like. When you finish, we'll shake hand and you will leave.
I've never
And
heard this before. This is amazing. Okay.
so the people when they speak, you know everything because usually your mind are like is type of uh, statements like it's an orders. So if I give you a question, you will say order and you will get and you will tell it to me. But if I tell you you have 30 minutes, you can speak. So I can assess everything, how they like order the ideas, the management of her mind or his mind, the time management as well, how he or she use the 30 minutes. And also the quality of the person, the speaking quality, the consistency, the motivation, everything. And some people it talks it's easy. No, it's not easy at more because it's very hard and the people are not ready for that. Like once they get in, hello, my name is Mustafa. I'm the CEO and the co-founder of EUYouth. You have 30 minutes, you can start.
Like what? What the heck?
Yes, direct. And people uh, they asking what we should. It's as you like. If you don't, you can leave now. It's as you can take 1 minute. You can take 30 minutes. I open the like the timer side to me, and then people you should use it or no. It's to you. This is my interview. I don't do any kind of questions. And after people finish, I tell them, are you live in a good position in terms of distance from the office? Because I don't like people coming from outside a lot of like after like more than 45 minutes because it's very hard and in Egypt you can come with a lot of conditions. But in Saudi, you know, the facility of moving is better and it's better. This is the one I get knowledge of that and that's it.
That's actually said it's much harder. And no, people are not used to this. It has to do as well with the educational system. This is as well how we all over the world, not only in the Middle East, is that you are used to getting a test where the questions are, then it's the test that helps you structure your mind. But now you're leaving it to the person, you tell him or her, show me if your mind is structured.
Exactly. Like it's an evidence a question, not
Yeah.
an open question like for
Open book.
yes.
Have you ever had a funny experience? Like, have you ever had a candidate, I don't know, freezing or not knowing what to say and just leaving? What's the funniest
Yeah, yes, a
story?
lot of people like they
A
some people
lot.
like yeah, like stay 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and they didn't found anything to say. Okay, thank you. So and some they like have some sort of from the staff. to do easily. You can say what you want and etc. But if you don't have the personality to manage yourself, it's a problem because a good personality. And I, I don't care about the quality of the technical part. You can learn the technical part, but the personality, if you have a good personality, you will have it forever. If you don't have it, I can't give you a good personality. So the personality for me is the most important because I, I like I get confused, like I get by the person, the personality. And after that, okay, I hired some people so we have of two, three people. They are two above 30, more experience, everything, and one 24, 25. But I love the personality of the 24, 25. I bring it. It's for me, it's better because this personality will stay with me 4 or 5 years, and there's a good personality will stay with a good positive motive, better than someone with the past months, 1 year, and he will or she will leave, so you will not stay.
And then it's contagious as well. It's like an apple, you know, the rotten apple. You put it in a box of other apples, it's gonna destroy everybody. No, that's totally that's very interesting, and it's a better the way to recruit is to make sure that you have the right personality, and then the technical part can be taught. Also, if they have the mindset and they want to learn, it's easy, right? Like you can do it. So speaking of which, what is the hottest, the most wanted professions right now? Like if a young person coming out of university and asking you, look, I want to work, I don't know what to do. Where shall we, seek? Where shall we look?
Okay, like they study a specific technical one or no general?
Yeah, like what is like, some people would say a few years ago it was like coding. Like today, what is it? Because AI now is replaced, like you can code, you don't need to know
Yes.
how to code with AI. What's
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
since
think
youth as well is preparing people for this, I'd like to hear more.
yes. Like now, I can give you from our experience now, like we do a lot of training programs. The most requested one, how to use AI in X. So the most needed one, people are willing to learn how to use AI in building a website or mobile app or something because he reduced the time with 70%. Like you can imagine people was working to build a website manually. It takes 2, 3 weeks. Now it takes them 2 days to do a website with AI because they don't code. You're right. I need to build a website for LMS, Learning Management System. And the AI, okay, you need to do this kind of in the website. Then please, I need to do that by Python or HTML or whatever the language. So they put the bulk of codes for each one. So you get it and put it and then run it. So it's running. You need to have like the interface, the frame, in front or front. Do that, and you need the UI, UX, and etc. All of that it can be done by easy the AI, all the stuff. But you need to learn how to use the AI to build this one as a good position. Like for me, I do presentations a lot of presentations per day because like we present to customers, we present to partners, to investors. So now like I always AI, I do the content, I review the content, edit, do something, and then I also have an AI for designing the presentation. For the data and the full presentation is come out. I review and then I have it. It's done and etc. So it takes me 2 hours to build the presentation before I can take 4, 3 without designing. Do the content, I send it to a person. Please do the design for me. But now the person like it's the AI, it's the person.
So yeah, so what is like the hottest or most requested professions right now?
Yeah.
What about creation? I have the impression that content is still, because I'm trying to think in 5 years from now, because some people are saying, AI is going to replace us, and a lot of people are going to lose their jobs because of AI. But maybe it's not the case because, as you said, if you know how to use AI, maybe you're not that replaceable because we still need the human. Or what's your take on this? And also content creation as well.
Yes, exactly. Totally agree. Because the content creation and this kind of human being skill, it can't be replaced with technology or AI or machine. because the content, you should feel it. You should present your content to another human being. So if you put the I need to do content for whenever, something alert, the same thing. Everyone on LinkedIn, you can see partnership alert, investment alert, marriage alert, everything. So it's a systematic way. But the people that when you used to see the same word for everyone, there's like no one would be interested to see what written because they know it's not a human being.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's the content and the skills related to or the jobs related to the human interaction, it should be still for human interaction. But you can use it as a tool inside to help you to faster the process, to do a research instead of you. If you write a content and you need to have some data inside the content, you can ask the AI, please, I do the data for some 1, 2, 3, 4. He will bring the data faster, accurate, and you can use it. But you can't use it, please write a content for me on 1, 2, 3. He will do that, but it's the same way for you, for X, for Y. So no brand different, no efforts, no media difference between the brands or the companies.
Super interesting. That's what you were saying before, soft skills. If you're working with humans, you still need, because at the end of the day, if you're a salesperson or a content creator or even a developer, you'll be actually working with one of your clients are humans usually. So
Exactly.
personality matters, as you said. So you need to work on your soft skills. Do you have courses on soft skills, how to deal on youth?
Yes, the programs we provide have program inside it. So in EUYouth, we don't sell courses, we sell program. The program, it's a bigger thing, have assessments, have uh, learning topics, have online interactive learning, games, assessments, again, marketplace assessments, a lot of stuff. And inside this package, we put the soft skills and personal skills related to your jobs inside it. So if you can get like a specific course for a specific career, you soft skills of the career inside what you're getting in the program to facilitate it, because you can't work with only technical skills. You need to have a good soft skills related to what you are willing to work.
Oh, that's very good. How do you think, what is the future of, how do you see the visions, the 2030 visions, national visions in different countries in the region? Are they feasible? Will we be able to reach them, especially in the educational sector?
Okay. I think it's in some countries and yes, and some countries no, because the time and some countries, Saudi, UAE, good established countries, they have the facilities and they have money to reach it, and they reach it be before the time they bought it. But for other countries, they have some challenges. I think it's hard because the time now we have a lot of negative conditions, like in the region, we have a good like a very big negative condition in terms of wars, in terms of some challenging, in terms of a lot of stuff. Like in Egypt, we are faced or challenged by Gaza war, with Libya before, with yes, a lot of stuff. Because in Egypt, in Sudan, yes, Sudan as well, we have like in the middle, and we have a lot of changes like outside. And we are not a rich country, so we have some resources. This resources is not enough, but we have some guests from other countries come inside, and we have some conditions we need to pay and we need to manage. We need to send some like helping staff to other countries. There's like a huge conditions, and we are 106 million people, like 106 million people, a huge number. That's why we have we might have a future, but for me, reaching the vision of 2030 with total conditions and the KPI is very hard for the countries are facing a new thing not planned before. And also, we don't have the capacity and the luxury of money to come over any kind of sudden challenges, because sudden challenges it need more money. If you don't have the money, you need to do some things or some solutions without money, and it's not work in most of
Yeah.
Thanks.
Money is the oxygen, is like the fuel. As someone who studied up in the West and who comes from the Middle East, what do you think? Can in 10 years from now, let's say 20 years from now, like here in the West, we're having a problem with the birth rates. So you're having the population is not as young as the Middle East, but yet you
Yes.
have the knowledge and you have the expertise. The Middle East, up and coming, especially the Gulf states, young population, well educated, but maybe they don't have the same experience that the West has. In 20 years from now, who do you see? How competitive is the Middle East going to be? Gulf and maybe Egypt as well, because there's a lot of Egyptians working in the Gulf states, very well educated and experts.
I think like in the Middle East people, they can easily compete anyone in the world if they are well good personality, they have knowledge, because the conditions we are grow up in, it's much harder than anyone in the world, in a good world like in the Europe or US, because you have a system and the strict systems, and the strict systems always easily help you to grow, but they less the they the extraordinary people, like the amazing people, because the system all in the system, but to be a good like an extra, outside the system. But in the Arab countries here in the Middle East, you can find a lot of extra people, extra like uh, and extra good people, but you don't have people with system. This is a challenge between the people in Middle East and the people working or the system working in Europe. So if you bring people from Egypt or from any country to work there, the system it will be the challenge. But this person, if will be integrated in a good system, he will be better than anyone else integrated in the system. So here, the mentality and the personality. If we have a good personality and a good mentality, you have committed persistence and this stuff, you will easily get into integrated in the system. You will be the best of the system. But if you don't have this kind of personality of like motive, committed to be inside, you will be easily done. So the trigger here, are you will be able and willing to be integrated in the system? If yes, I can totally believe the person will be one of the best in the organization or in the company or in the system. But if the person is refusing that, they do that. Like the football, like anything is not the education only, like the football, if you find the football from the Arab region, if they have the opportunity outside with a good personality and a good mindset, they will go far than anyone, than the African people like African players. But like or any Europe players as well, like Muhammad Salah, a lot of people like the Moroccan national team, they do something amazing because all of them they have the opportunity to work outside and play in a high conditions, and they have the personality and the quality of the mindset. If the mindset and the personality, I think it's the more important thing in any field, in any factor, in any place.
I totally agree with you. You need to, yeah, resilience, which a lot of people have. Like as you said, in the Middle East and Egypt, you have a lot of resilient people. But then the growth mindset, the discipline is so super important. I think unfortunately many young people lack discipline. So is that I guess youth is that's the EU's mission actually is to in the right mindset and
Exactly. Trying to do that. And the important thing for the person itself, I always say, do is 20-30%. But the person do is 80%, 70% of successful journey of anyone. Because if I give you a good learning, a good quality of topics, expertise, webinars, all the stuff, and you are as a person are not into this part, at the end you will find it out you are still in the middle. You are not that good one. And if you are working on yourself, it will be better. For me, as example, I was never ever speak any word of English until my university, and I didn't learn anything in my university as well. And when I go to US, I told you I don't speak anything. I
impressive.
was in the class without the first 3 months. I stay without talking any word.
You like what?
Yes, what they say. I try to work on myself. I try to write every word in English and to speak it, like how to speak this word in Arabic. I write it in Arabic and in English. I do a lot of efforts. I do extra efforts until I can speak. I improve my speak. I improve my style of speak, my word to a lot of stuff until I find myself good. I didn't get any class English. I didn't get any courses in English. I didn't get any kind of support for anyone. It's totally for me. Like I found myself, I need to learn English. I did. So I did because of mine. When I found myself, I need to speak some French words. I did mine. And in German as well. I do that because of mine. I need to do that. I travel to Germany a lot of times. So no, I need every 2 3 months I go there. I need to facilitate that to me to as a motive to convince me to learn German. I need to learn some words. I need to spell out English words. That's how I do. I don't have any kind of facilities or money or anything. I do that because I need to do. I don't have laptop, internet. I do that. I need to learn English. I learn it. That's why people they can easily do anything, but the mentality, the personality. I need to do that. I will do that. What it takes time, efforts. You have time and effort. It's for free. The time and the effort is for free. You are sitting for free. Nothing you need. You need to work. Like, nothing you need to learn. It's a lot of. You can have some words. You can see films whenever. So I like believe the personality and mindset. It's the key of any successful person.
I wish a lot of young people could listen to you, especially those who complain, sitting on cafes and complaining about unemployment and that everything is bad. And you're totally right. Actually, it's like going to the gym. You can teach someone how to work out, okay, eat well and everything, but you cannot work out for them. You cannot exercise for them, right? So it's the same. Like, okay, but it has to come from inside. They have to make the effort. They have to want to be better. It's amazing. Thank you so much.
Totally,
What?
totally agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Any final thoughts, Mustafa? Your birthday? Yes, I had a question. EUYouth, is it in Arabic only because you work in Africa? Is it in English? Do you have an English version?
Arabic, English, and French.
Oh, wow. The three languages. Cool. That's very good. Any final thoughts? What do you hope for EUYouth for the future, your personal future, the region future?
No, I want to go for the interview for sure, and we deliver something people can learn from. And I'm like waiting for any feedback coming from anyone see the video or listen it to it. It's my pleasure to waiting for any feedback because I always learn from the feedback. And for me and the youth, inshallah, we are working to grow our business, to grow our learning, our KPIs to have 10 million learners 2025, inshallah. I think it's hard, but we'll use it. We will start some university degrees, also some additional educational programs in the Middle East very soon, inshallah. And also we hope to go also to African countries more, to work in the African countries and help them. So inshallah, our promise to work as usual we do, and the other things come from Allah helping us.
Yeah, inshallah. Happy birthday, Mustafa.
Thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, and best of luck. And maybe we can, a few months from now, can do a part 2 to know more about your progress in
Yeah,
the
sure.
sector.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.